Alright, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle, and now it's time to talk about the 2017 E3 conference from Sony, which was a lot shorter than I expected it to be. It ran about an hour long, which is 45 minutes shorter than the Microsoft conference. However, the Microsoft conference was probably a little bit too long. And I feel that it was a solid conference. There's actually quite a few things that I am looking forward to. However, there wasn't any really new big reveals. There's a few new things, but not anything crazy. Well, one of the things was kind of crazy just for me personally, but it's an old game. I'll get to that in a second, and some of you might already know what that might be if you know me. But yeah, nothing really crazy new from Sony, and even to an extent Microsoft too. There really hasn't been a lot of new crazy things. Which is really unfortunate because that's why I always get so excited for E3. And the other thing is that a lot of games are 2017 or early 2018, which means by the time that E3 2018 comes around, we're going to have all new stuff, hopefully. Although what I think is actually going to happen is that they're going to really announce all these new games that are coming out in 2018 fall and early 2019 on their own separate things, like outside of E3, which is really unfortunate. But whatever, let's get on with this conference. So, first one was the new Uncharted, which was originally going to be DLC, but it's now going to have its own separate release because I guess it was big enough to warrant that. I will say that it does look awesome because it's obviously Uncharted, but to me, Uncharted is Nathan Drake, and I haven't played Uncharted 4 yet, so I don't know these new characters. But Nathan Drake is Uncharted. It's like having an Indiana Jones movie without Harrison Ford. I just don't like that idea. I really get attached to specific characters. It'd be like Uncharted is similar to Tomb Raider, and it'd be like having Tomb Raider without calling it Tomb Raider without actually having Lara Croft. I think that that's insane. And if you want to go that separate route, you don't use the same tagline of that, and that's why Uncharted. They didn't go Tomb Raider with Nathan Drake. It was Uncharted with Nathan Drake. So we didn't out right away have those comparisons and get upset that they didn't use these specific characters. Anyway, still, it does look friggin' awesome, and I probably will pick it up down the road. But I haven't even picked up Uncharted 4, which I don't know why I haven't. But I definitely probably will pick this game up at some point. Next up, they showed some Horizon Zero Dawn, I think it's called, DLC coming out. Looks more of the same, which is not a bad thing, but I don't know why. I guess that's what E3 is now mainly going to be about sometimes. I think they're slowly going to start pushing DLC as the main focus. Because I did say that a few times, once in a while, that they'd show DLC as its own separate thing. Anyway, next up was Days Gone, which I think this new trailer made it. I was excited for it last year, but this one I really was like, okay, I really do need to pick this game up. I don't know if it's a day one yet, but it's a lot closer than it was before, and I think that if I just see one more actual gameplay, I'll be able to tell if I'm going to be picking up day one. But that's 2018, so I feel a lot. I feel like 2017, there's not really a lot that I want in the fall, and that has me scared. I should have a much better list right now. Pretty much just Nintendo for day one. Next up, they showed Monster Hunter. I think it was World of Worlds. That looked cool. That was new. And we're watching it, and I'm like, Monster Hunter? Right when they showed the guy with the big gigantic sword, I'm like, this seems like a little bit different for Monster Hunter. Like what he was going around and inspecting something. Maybe I guess that's Monster Hunter 2, but it was just like, I don't know 100%. And then they showed him battling a gigantic monster, a Tyrannosaurus Rex fire dragon, and I was like, yeah, that's Monster Hunter, and it looked really good. That looked super crystal clear. I was impressed with that. I feel that pretty much everything that we've seen, more so from maybe the Microsoft and Ubisoft conferences, they haven't been that clear, but I thought that Sony did a really good job of making all their games look actually really clear to what they probably are closer to playing on the consoles, which is freaking awesome. And then they showed something that was I didn't even see this coming. Shadow of the Colossus remade again. We already have the HD remakes on PlayStation 3. This game did look better than that, obviously. But we already have the HD versions, so I mean, more Shadow of the Colossus isn't a bad thing. Maybe we'll get... I don't see that getting a sequel, but a lot of people like this game and love this game, actually. So nothing wrong with having this remade on PS4, but just unexpected. Then we had Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I think it's called. What's weird about this is that I would really like to have a fighting game like this, kind of like the DC has with Injustice, but just Marvel. I don't really. Capcom can do their own thing. We already have Street Fighter, and if they wanted to have the Capcom characters, they should have them in Street Fighter. I don't like Marvel characters going up against Capcom. I want to just have its own separate, because I feel like Mega Man showing up in the Marvel universe is just strange to me. So, and then a bunch of other characters that sometimes I just have no idea who they are. Like I know who Dante is, I know the Street Fighter characters, I know Mega Man. Like I do know some Capcom characters, but sometimes they show up and I'm like, I don't know who you are, and they're there. So I would like to have a Marvel focused storyline, just Marvel by itself. And I have played that on PlayStation 1. There was a Marvel superheroes game made by Capcom, so it's pretty much the same thing, just no Capcom characters. And I wish that we would get that, because I thought the storyline could be kind of cool. Then they showed Call of Duty World War II. This is where Call of Duty showed up instead of on Microsoft. I have to say that I'm really happy they're going with World War II instead of the super futuristic stuff. The super futuristic stuff to me is not Call of Duty, and I know that it's because they make a new game every year, which is just ridiculous, but they should stop doing that. And then they can stick with their, either World War II era or in between, and then just slightly futuristic. Where like Modern Warfare was just a few years ahead of time, each time that a game would get released. That I enjoyed, but the super futuristic stuff, I was like, I don't really want to pick those games up. And it's just too many CODs. But this one does look pretty good. The new trailer was okay. I wasn't super thrilled about it, but World War II, you can't really go wrong with it. Well, you can, but Call of Duty going back to World War II is a good thing. Then they showed probably the biggest new thing for me, and I say new as in it's a new announcement, but it's an old game. Skyrim virtual reality. Why are they doing this? I mean, it's a good thing, but now I want VR. Before this, I was like, I can wait. I don't need it. And I probably still will wait a while before I pick it up, but I think this now means that I'm going to quadruple dip into Skyrim. Got on Xbox 360, got on Xbox One, going to be getting it for the Switch, for handheld, and now I'm going to be getting it on PS4 for virtual reality. It just never ends. Can I just get Elder Scrolls 6, please? I would love for an Elder Scrolls 6. Maybe 2018 they'll announce that. Next up, they showed Star Child VR. What was that one? I think that was a it was a 2D side-scrolling platformer, and I was like, why is that a VR? It made no sense. I have no idea why that's a VR game. If it's a side-scrolling game, there's no point in having VR. Excuse me. I did not understand that. But anyway, that's there. Not really looking forward to it. And then they had The Inpatient, which was a horror game. This horror game, out of all of them that I've seen so far, probably looked like the most interesting horror game that I've seen from E3 that they've announced, because it's set with more normal stuff and not hell or just weird emo stuff showing up. So that kind of seemed cool, and on VR that'd be scary as hell. But I don't know if I'd pick it up. But it's the best horror game that I've seen so far for this E3. Then they had, I think it's Monsters in the Deep, or something like that. Monsters of the Deep for Final Fantasy 15 Fishing. It's a fishing game. I don't really know how I feel about. I mean, I'm not excited, but I'm not angry with it. It's just there, kind of. And then they had a shoot. I didn't even remember the name of the thing because I didn't care for it. It was a shooting game for the VR, and I mean, we probably should have that, and I probably should be excited for it, but it looked so generic. And we've had so many shooters before, so I wasn't excited for it, but maybe actually playing it in virtual reality, I would have been like, this is freaking awesome. This is what virtual reality needs. So just seeing it as it was, not excited for it at all, but maybe in VR, it actually would be kind of cool. Because, I mean, shooting in virtual reality would be completely different. So maybe, but at this point I wasn't. Then they showed Moss for VR. And once again, it was more like a platformer where you kind of just interact with what's going on with the main character almost. Just goes around and does things, which was a little mouse. And the mouse was adorable. And I want this just for the cuteness of this game. But once again, I really don't feel that this needed VR to have this, because you're kind of just following this mouse go around and you kind of help it like go and do these things. You had to move stuff around, or you used, like, there was like a little blue orb almost that kind of followed it, and I assume that's what you're doing. Looks good, but I don't know. I don't. VR is not needed in this game. I don't think. It might be different when I would actually play the game. Then they had God of War, which looks fantastic. I am not, like, I'm very lukewarm with the God of War series. I played the first one, and that's pretty much it. I do want to go back and play 1, 2, and 3. And definitely this one. This one has completely sold me on the series, or at least for this game, because it looks absolutely phenomenal. I really cannot wait for that, but I think they said early 2018 for this, which is, once again, just 2018, everything. There's nothing for the fall season. Then they had Detroit. Detroit, I don't think they had an announced date, but okay, last year when they showed Detroit for the first time, it was an android detective, and he was trying to figure out what had happened with a murder, and then there was a robot that he had an interaction with, and that I was like, that looks really awesome. That's something that I can really get behind, and I was super excited for, because it also looked very, very, very graphically good. I'm losing words here. I've been talking too much about video games in the last few days. Yeah, it looked graphically beautiful. And then now this new trailer is about an android revolution, and it feels like it's always in the streets. And I was like, this looks absolutely boring. And I don't care for the main character at all. I don't feel that I'm gonna care for, like the main character at all. And it's an android revolution. I'm human. Why do I care about these androids? I at the beginning with the detective thing, they were being very, like, apprehensive, and like they were kind of treating him almost like another race. And you know, that I could kind of get behind, because he was just coming in to do his job. But now they want a revolution, and because they were slaves or something before, and it's like, now you're trying a little bit too hard, I think, to get people to side with them. For me anyway, and it just really looked boring. I wanted a detective story where you're an android and you go around and you solve mysteries. That seems awesome to me. I don't want a revolution game. There's tons of revolution games all of the time. And now it's about androids, and I didn't care for the main character, so I'm gonna have to wait a lot on Detroit to see if it gets really good reviews, and then maybe when it's on a much lower price, like $20, maybe then I'll pick it up. But I wanted this game. And then when I saw that they were going to show some new stuff for it, I was like, yes, I'm so excited. This could be a potential day one. Now it's not at all. I'm really not looking forward to it. They showed some Destiny 2 stuff, storyline stuff, which I have no care for. I like Destiny, but not for the storyline. It does look like, though, they are going a little bit, like, the storyline should be better this time around. But the first time around, I did not care for anything. The game looks fun, but it looks like an upgraded version of what Destiny 1 should have been, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just I'm not super excited for it, because I did play Destiny. And last but not least, Spider-Man, which looked absolutely amazing. Spectacular, amazing, all those kinds of things. But this looks like so much fun. Spider-Man just swinging his web and just constantly doing crazy things with his webbing all the time, as this chaos, as like this helicopter was going through the city, and then there was a crane falling down, and he's trying to save everything so that it's not falling down on the city, on the people. Looked tons of fun. But then near the end, they showed the new Spider-Man from the Ultimate Series, Miles, and I'm like, Miles, you stay away from Spider-Man. Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Don't. Once again, with this thing with Drake, that Drake is Uncharted, Lara Croft is Tomb Raider, Bruce Wayne is Batman, Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Don't mess with that stuff. They can have, if Miles is just in it and he's kind of doing his own thing, fine. But why? Just keep it as the original cast. That's what I want. If you want a new character that does his own thing, then call him something else instead of Spider-Man. It bothers me. And then make him look pretty much the exact same thing. Like, we already have Venom, we have Carnage, we have all these things. We have Ben Reilly. We have so many Spider-Mans already, or versions of Spider-Man. We don't need a new one. But whatever. just stay away from Spider-Man. Also, one negative too that I will say about Spider-Man is I didn't necessarily like the voice for Spider-Man. I assume it's Peter Parker. I hope it's Peter Parker and not Miles. But I didn't really. I was like, that doesn't really sound like Peter Parker / Spider-Man. So I don't know about that. But the game looked phenomenal. And once again, 2018. So so many 2018 games. So that was pretty much it. The games that I'm looking forward to the most are Days Gone, definitely. Monster Hunter World or Worlds, whatever it's called. Shadow of the Colossus, but like not crazy about it. Skyrim VR, yeah, probably the most anticipated game out of this list because I'm just a crazy Skyrim fan. God of War, very much looking forward to that. And Spider-Man, I definitely am looking forward to that as well. But yeah, not a lot of crazy new heavy hitters, and for the heavy hitters that they do have, not going crazy about it. Where is The Last of Us? Yeah, what happened to The Last of Us 2? That's unfortunate. And apparently they're making a new Knack game, which I liked the first one. Not amazing, but I did like it. And nothing here. I mean, they could have done it. They had enough time. So yeah, solid E3 showing, just not amazing. I wasn't wowed at all by this. Kind of most of E3 this year has unfortunately been like that. So Nintendo, you have the chance. Ball is in your court tomorrow. Make me proud. Hopefully. Actually, the two games I'm looking forward to the most this year, now that we're at this far into the year, is Splatoon 2 and Mario Odyssey. Those are the two games that I'm looking forward to the most. I don't know. It's crazy. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. You've been bearded in. Beardage.